sharp minor 7 chord. See, in the left hand, here we have the ring finger at C sharp or D flat, the third finger on E, the index finger on G sharp or A flat. See, A flat. And the thumb is going to be on B. Now here's that chord. That's a C sharp minor 7 or a D flat minor 7. Now we want to make that chord a little bit more interesting. We're going to take the right hand and we're going to go up to the 5th. Now remember, it's a C sharp minor 7, right? So what's the 5th tone? The 5th tone would be G sharp or A flat. So we're going to go up to the 5th with the thumb and make that a minor 7 chord. So there, see, that's an A flat minor 7. A flat, B, D sharp, can you see it? Okay, there's D sharp right there. And an F sharp or G flat. Okay, now we're going to play both the left hand chord and the right hand chord simultaneously. And this is what it's going to sound like. Now this is what it sounds like when you just play the left hand. Okay, now here's the right hand. Now play them together, and that's what they sound like. Okay, now to make that more interesting, we're going to add this to it. We'll do it again. Now what I've done is that I've played a B7 in the left hand. Okay, here's B, right? And here's the 7, which is A, right? See, that's a B7 in a shell form. See where my pinky and my thumb is located? Now we can take the 3rd of that chord and take your pinky off of B and play the 3rd and the 7th. And it'll be like that. So that's a B7. Now in the right hand, you're going to play the C sharp minor again, or minor 7. So there it is. See, C sharp, E, G sharp, and B. C sharp minor 7. Now this is how that chord is going to sound played together. Okay, it's going to be... So we're going to play this chord and come back to the D flat minor 7 chord. You hear that? That's what they call a leading chord or leading tone. See? Listen carefully. Well, I always like to add at least 2 chords before a chord. So what I'll do is that I'll play this chord and this one and then come back. So this is how it's played in succession. Now, if I want to add some more tones to it, I would go. Or now this is how we're going to do that. As I showed you before, the B7 in the left hand, which played with the 3rd finger on E flat, the thumb on A, which is the 7, okay, in the right hand, the A flat minor 7 chord, which is thumb on A flat, index finger on B, 3rd finger on E flat or D sharp, since we're going up, see it? And the pinky or baby finger on F sharp, or G flat, see it? Now, the next chord is going to be an A flat 7 augmented. So we're going to take the A flat 7 which is played here. Okay, that's A flat. We're going to go to the 7, since if we come all the way back around from A flat to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right here, that's the 8, right? So this is a flat 8, if there's such a thing. They don't really write it flat 8, but if you want to flat the 8, it would be G. Then go down to G flat. That's your 7, right? It's the 7th tone before you reach the 8, which is an octave. Okay? So, here are the 3 notes in the A flat chord. A flat, C, and E flat, or A flat, C, and D sharp. Now you're going to make that a 7, so you can make it this way. A flat, C, D sharp, and F sharp, or you can make it like this. So that's the way, this is the way we're going to use it now. Okay, it's an A flat 7 chord. Now in your right hand, you're going to play a C augmented. As a matter of fact, a C major 7 augmented. Okay, and there's a C major 7, right? Right, so we're going to augment, which is the 5th, augmented 5th. We're going to raise the 3rd finger up to the G sharp, and that's how it's going to sound. Okay, see it? Thumb on C, index finger on E, and your 3rd finger on G sharp or A flat, and your 4th finger on B. Or if you want to, you can put the pinky on B. But to be safe, I would just let it go with the natural flow of finger position. Okay, now remember the left hand, right? The left hand was playing this, and the right hand is playing this, right? But since your thumb is already on C, you can skip playing C with the right hand because you already got the left hand doing it. So what you'll do is you'll play E, G sharp, and B, and that's just an E major chord. So you're going to play an A flat 7 in the left, right here, here it is, and you're going to play an E major in the right. And there you go. Now this is how they sound together. All right, that's how they sound together. Okay, so we're going to go back to where we started. We went from here, right? At the beginning, we went back to C sharp minor 7 or D flat minor 7. So this is how you make your chord approach a little bit more interesting instead of just going right to a chord. Okay. Let's say, for instance, if we went from a B minor 9 to a C sharp minor 9, it would go, right? Right? But we want to make it interesting, so we go from the B minor 7 or minor 9. Let me do it again. Okay. Now, all right, now the next chord we're going to play is, that's a G flat, flat 9 chord, or G flat 7, flat 9. Okay, now in the left hand, you're going to play G flat with the pinky. There we go. Gonna play E with the thumb. You remember, you're going up now. Here we go. In between, these fingers are doing nothing. So you're in what position now? You're in like a shell form. Remember the shell form I told you about? There it is. Now you can also make that G flat 7 up here, like this. See? See, it's still got the G flat and it's still got the E. And it's still basically a shell form because you're not playing anything else. But if you want to fill in those other tones, you can play it like this. Or you can add the sixth to give it more of a jazz sound. But it's basically this chord. This is if you added the sixth. Without the sixth. With the sixth. Now, in the right hand, you're going to play an E flat major, which would be E flat, G, and B flat, right? But since it's already down in the lower register, we don't want to make it sound too muddy. So we're going to omit that note with the thumb and play from G to A sharp or B flat to the D sharp or the E flat. Now that's your right hand. Now you can also, with the pinky, add that G flat or F sharp, and it'll sound like this. Now played simultaneously, it's gonna sound like this. Now if you went up an octave, it would sound like this. So far we went. Now, our resolving chord is going to be a B6-9 chord. So this is what you're going to play.